Assalamualaikum. Hi students, how are you doing? Today I would like to deliver chapter number 2, which is about evolution and adaptation. And before that, if you look at your syllabus, this is actually an overview about your chapter number 2, which is about distribution and abundance, which there are 4 sub chapters here, which are biogeography, number 2, factors affecting distribution and abundance, species transplants, and transplants experiments. So after finish this chapter, you should be able to understand about biogeography, and you should be able to describe the factor that affecting distribution and abundance. You should be able to understand and about species transplant and transplants experiment. Okay, as I told you before, this is about evolution and adaptation. As you can see here, this is actually a definition about evolution. Okay, evolution is actually a change. Okay, it's a change in attribute of a population over time. This is not for individual. This is actually more into a population. Okay, evolution changes leads to adaptation. Changes in the change is especially for the genes or alleles in population over generations. What produced evolutionary change? Of course, this is related to natural selection by Darwin and Wallace, 1853. They said differential success or survival and reproduction of individual in a population within a given environment. This is about adaptation. The net result of the selection is that organisms are adapted to their environment. So this is actually what you should understand about this topic. Okay, it's actually they're more into adaptation to the environment. Okay, as you can see from here, this is about adaptation occurs in plant and animal. Okay, for the plant, as of course I think you already learned from chapter number 1, 1.3 last time. Okay, about the change, about evolution. Okay, this is more into an adaptation during periods of times. Okay, long time. It takes time for the long term. Okay, as you can see from here, from the beginning and end, from the beginning one, the corn it was look very small, just like that. Okay, after sometimes, okay, they are become a modern corn. Okay, and of course, if you still remember about the change or evolution change of the giraffe and polar bear last time, so it's also the same thing happen. Okay, about they adapt with their environment. Example 4 of adaptation, as I told you before about the giraffe itself, about their neck. Okay, long neck giraffe to fit in area that cannot be reached to other animals. Meanwhile, for white coat of polar bear, makes it invisible to potential prey, increase its capability to hunt on or search for food in the Arctic. In addition, for modern corn, as I told you before just now, Native Americans domesticated Thion seeds by only planting seeds from those with the most kernels and discarding the rest. The goal was to improve the ear and its kernel. So this is actually about an adaptation with 3 types of example. Okay. Concept of adaptation, of course, range. Why is the range of some organisms wide, while for other organisms is narrow? For environment condition, of course, it is again related to the adaptive ability of the species. Okay, as you can see from here, this graph shows you 2 types of animal, which are the top one is a river otter. River otter is actually an endotherm species. Okay, they can adapt with actually endotherm is actually the species that can absorb energy from surrounding. They will produce heat, or they will form heat. Meanwhile, for ectotherm fish down there. So this is actually a species that dependent on external sources of body heat. Okay, so if you look at that, for the river otter one, the red in color of the graph, so their temperature still remain the same. Okay, almost remain the same. Meanwhile, for ectotherm, for the fish, okay, large mouth base, okay, the temperature very actually, if you look at it, they are actually increasing, okay, because they will adapt with the external, they're dependent on external sources of body heat. So this is actually a concept of adaptation again, fitness. Among reproducing individuals, some will leave more offspring than others. This is called fitness, a measure of the contribution to the gene pool and to future generation. So of course, individuals in a population are of different ages. Okay, we continue to the next slide later on.